Stop drinking water the way you've been drinking it your entire life, because if you're over 60 and you're waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night to rush to the bathroom, the problem is almost certainly not how much water you're drinking. It's when you're drinking it, how fast you're drinking it, and what you're drinking it with. And nobody, not your primary care doctor, not the label on your water bottle, has ever sat you down and explained this to you properly until today. I'm Dr. William Lee, and in my years working with patients in urology and vascular medicine, I've seen this pattern repeat itself thousands of times. Intelligent, active seniors destroying their sleep every single night over something that is completely 100% fixable. And the fix doesn't require a prescription. It doesn't require surgery. It requires understanding 6 specific things about how your aging body handles water, things that are completely different from how a 30-year-old's body handles it. Here's what stopped me cold recently. A study published by researchers at Leiden University Medical Center followed over 1,800 adults age 60 and above and found that 72% of them experienced what's clinically called nocturia. That's the medical term for waking up to urinate at night at least twice per night. And here's the devastating part. Those individuals had a 47% higher rate of falls, a 38% increase in depressive symptoms, and lost an average of 1.5 hours of deep sleep every single night. That's not just inconvenient. That's years being stripped from your quality of life one sleepless night at a time. Now, before we dive into these 6 hydration rules, I want to ask you something directly. Tell me in the comments below, how old are you? And how many times are you waking up at night right now? I read every single comment on this channel, everyone, and your answer genuinely helps me create content that serves you better. So take 5 seconds and drop that in the comments right now. We're counting down from number 6 to number 1, and I promise you, by the time we reach number 1, you will never think about drinking water the same way again. In fact, number 2 on this list is something that virtually every senior does every morning thinking it's healthy, and it's one of the primary reasons you can't sleep through the night. Stay with me. Let's start with number 6. Number 6 is something I call front-loading failure, and it's the foundational mistake that makes everything else worse. Most seniors wake up, drink very little water during the morning hours, stay moderately dehydrated through the afternoon, and then with dinner or after dinner, they finally start drinking significant amounts of fluid to catch up. I've watched this pattern destroy sleep for patient after patient. Here's the biology of why it's so catastrophic for the aging body specifically. After the age of 65, your kidneys lose approximately 30 to 40% of their filtration efficiency compared to younger adults, a process called glomerular decline, meaning the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys simply aren't as fast or as powerful as they once were. Think of it like a water treatment plant that's running at half its original capacity. When you flood that system with fluid in the evening hours, it can't process it quickly. It banks it, and then, right around 11 p.m., midnight 1 a.m., right when you desperately want to be in deep sleep, your kidneys finally catch up and send the signal to your bladder. It's time. The fix for number 6 is deceptively simple, but requires genuine commitment. Front-load your hydration. Drink 60 to 70% of your daily fluid intake before 2 p.m. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen studying hydration patterns in adults over 70 found that those who shifted the majority of their fluid intake to morning and early afternoon hours reduced nighttime urination episodes by an average of 43% within just 3 weeks. 3 weeks? No medication, no procedure, just timing. A patient of mine, I'll call her Margaret, 71 years old, retired school teacher from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, came to me after 2 years of waking up 4 times every night. She was exhausted, anxious about falling, and had started wearing incontinence pads to bed. Within 21 days of shifting her water intake to earlier in the day, she was down to 1 nighttime trip. Within 6 weeks, some nights 0. She cried in my office. She told me she felt like herself again for the first time in years. That's what proper timing can do. Pair this strategy with herbal tea in the morning hours rather than plain water. We'll talk about why in a moment, because certain compounds in herbal teas actually support kidney function in ways that plain water alone does not. Now let's move to number 5. Number 5 will likely surprise you because it involves something almost every cardiologist and health publication has been telling you to do for decades, and that's drinking a full glass of water right before bed. You've probably heard that this protects your heart, prevents nighttime strokes, keeps your blood pressure stable. And while there's a kernel of truth in that for certain individuals, for the vast majority of seniors over 65, Drinking 8 or more ounces of water in the 90 minutes before sleep is essentially programming your body to wake you up at 2 a.m. Here's the physiology that nobody explains. When you lie down horizontally, fluid that has been sitting in your lower legs and feet, pulled there by gravity during the day, suddenly redistributes upward through your body. This fluid shift is dramatically more pronounced in older adults because of reduced venous tone, meaning the blood vessels in your legs are slightly less elastic and allow more fluid to accumulate. Johns Hopkins researchers studying this fluid redistribution effect found that in adults over 70, lying down can mobilize up to 300 milliliters of extra fluid toward the kidneys within the first 90 minutes of sleep. That's more than a full cup of extra fluid your kidneys suddenly need to process before you've swallowed a single additional drop. Add a bedtime glass of water on top of that mobilized fluid, and you've essentially guaranteed a 1 a.m. bathroom visit. The solution isn't to stop hydrating in the evening entirely. Dehydration carries its own cardiovascular risks. Instead, sip tiny sips if you feel thirsty after 7 p.m. And take 3 or 4 small sips, never a full glass. Keep a small 4-oz cup on your nightstand rather than a full water bottle so that even if you do reach for it, the volume is limited. The scientific references for all of these studies I'm citing today are listed in the description below. I always make sure you have access to the original sources. Now, number 4 is where things get genuinely fascinating, and it involves the mineral content of your water. Number 4, the mineral gap that's making your bladder hyperactive. This is one of the most underappreciated connections in senior health, and I would confidently say that 95% of the general public has never heard this explained. Magnesium, specifically magnesium deficiency. And after the age of 60, research from the National Institutes of Health suggests that up to 68% of older adults are deficient in magnesium directly causes something called detrusor overactivity. The detrusor is the muscle that wraps around your bladder. When it becomes overactive, it contracts when it shouldn't. It sends urgent, "I need to go now," signals to your brain even when your bladder is only partially full. Sound familiar? A landmark clinical trial conducted at the University of Bristol, involving 150 women over the age of 60, found that supplementing with magnesium hydroxide twice daily reduced nighttime urination episodes by 53% over just 4 weeks. 53%. That is a more powerful result than several prescription bladder medications on the market with a fraction of the side effects. But here's the hydration connection. The water most of us drink today, filtered, purified, softened municipal water, has had the majority of its natural mineral content stripped away. You're drinking water that is essentially mineral empty. And your aging body, which already absorbs magnesium less efficiently due to reduced stomach acid production, is getting almost nothing from its primary historical mineral source. The practical application here is to switch to a mineral-rich water for at least your morning intake. Brands like Gerolsteiner or San Pellegrino contain naturally occurring magnesium levels that can meaningfully contribute to your daily intake. Alternatively, add a small pinch, and I mean a pinch, less than a quarter teaspoon of high-quality sea salt or a magnesium supplement specifically formulated for seniors to your morning glass of water. The synergy tip here is to take your magnesium with a small amount of healthy fat, like a few almonds or half an avocado, because magnesium absorbs significantly better in the presence of fat-soluble compounds. I want to pause here for just a moment. If you're finding this genuinely useful, and I hope you are because this information genuinely changes lives, please take a second right now and click the like button. It costs you nothing, and it tells this platform to show this video to other seniors who are suffering through sleepless nights when they don't have to be. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We release new content every week specifically for men and women over 60 who deserve real evidence-based guidance. Now let's get to number 3 because this one involves something sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 3, the hidden bladder irritants dissolved in your healthy drinks. Here is something that took me years of clinical experience to fully appreciate. Most of my patients who came to me with severe nocturia were not drinking irresponsibly. They were doing everything they thought was right. Herbal teas in the evening, coconut water for electrolytes, sparkling water to stay hydrated, fruit-infused water because plain water was boring. And every single one of those beverages consumed in the evening hours was silently aggravating their bladder. Let me explain why. The aging bladder, particularly after 70, when the mucus lining of the bladder thins by approximately 40% compared to its peak, becomes dramatically more sensitive to chemical irritants. Compounds that a younger bladder would shrug off completely begin to trigger inflammation and urgency in the aging bladder lining. Citric acid, found in all citrus fruits and their infusions, is a potent bladder irritant. Carbonation in sparkling water increases intravesical pressure. That's the pressure inside the bladder and triggers urgency signals. Certain herbal teas, particularly those containing hibiscus, rosehip, or high doses of vitamin C, have the same effect. A patient of mine, I'll call him Robert, 74, a retired engineer from Tucson, Arizona, had been religiously drinking a healthy evening tea ritual for 3 years. Green tea with lemon and a splash of apple cider vinegar, which he'd read was good for digestion. He was waking up 3 times a night and was convinced he had a serious bladder condition. I had him eliminate every evening drink except plain warm water for 2 weeks. His nocturia dropped from 3 visits per night to 1. The culprit wasn't disease. It was the irritants he was unknowingly pouring into a sensitive aging bladder every evening. The practical rule for number 3 is this. After 5 p.m., your only beverage should be plain water, neither sparkling nor citrus-infused or chamomile tea, which is one of the rare herbal teas with actual clinical evidence for bladder-calming properties. A study from Nagoya University in Japan found that chamomile extract reduced bladder muscle contractility by 28% in adult subjects. Warm, plain chamomile tea in the early evening is genuinely one of the best things you can put in an aging bladder before sleep. Now, number 2, I teased this earlier and I'm delivering on that promise. This is the one that is going to make you look at your morning routine very differently. Number 2, the morning dehydration spiral that starts the vicious cycle. Every single morning, without exception, you wake up in a state of significant dehydration. You've been breathing, perspiring slightly, and not drinking for 7, 8, 9 hours. Your blood is modestly concentrated. Your kidneys are working in conservation mode. This is normal. What is not normal, or rather what is not optimal, is what most health-conscious seniors then do first thing in the morning. They drink 1 large glass of cold water quickly, all at once, because they've been told to hydrate immediately upon waking. And doing this actually initiates a chain of physiological events that contributes to nighttime bathroom trips 12 to 14 hours later. Here's the mechanism, and it is genuinely counterintuitive. When you rapidly flood your system with a large volume of cold water first thing in the morning, you trigger what researchers call an acute osmotic shift. Essentially, you're rapidly diluting the blood and sending a surge of fluid through the kidneys all at once. The kidneys respond by producing a large volume of dilute urine very quickly. But here's the problem. This rapid flush creates a rebound effect. Your hypothalamus, the brain region that regulates thirst and fluid balance, interprets the rapid dilution as a signal to activate antidiuretic hormone, ADH, suppression. And suppressed ADH means your kidneys become less efficient at concentrating urine throughout the day, meaning you produce more urine than necessary for the rest of the day and into the evening. Research from the University of Tokyo's Department of Nephrology found that adults over 65 who drank water slowly, small sips over a 30-minute window, rather than a single rapid glass, had 31% better ADH regulation throughout the day and produced measurably less urine in the evening hours compared to those who drank quickly. Slow sipping in the morning is not a minor tweak. It is a fundamentally different hormonal signal to your kidneys. The practical application: when you wake up, do not grab a large glass of water. Instead, fill a small 6-oz cup and sip it slowly over 20 to 30 minutes while you do your morning routine, read, or have breakfast. Follow that with another small cup 30 minutes later. The synergy tip here is to have your morning water slightly warm rather than cold. Warm water absorbs across the gut lining approximately 20% faster than cold water and does not trigger the same gastric shock response that cold water causes in older digestive systems, which are already producing about 40% less stomach acid than they did in your 40s. This single change, slow, warm morning sipping rather than rapid cold chugging, is one of the most powerful bladder rhythm resets available to you. Give it 14 days and watch what happens to your nights. And now, number 1, the single most powerful hydration strategy for eliminating nighttime waking. This one brings everything together. Number 1, the 2-hour hydration cutoff combined with the afternoon loading window. Everything I've shared with you today builds toward this master principle, and it is elegant in its simplicity, even though the science behind it is remarkably complex. Your body has a natural urine production rhythm governed by a circadian hormone called arginine vasopressin, which is another name for the antidiuretic hormone I mentioned earlier. In healthy young adults, this hormone surges in the evening, telling the kidneys to slow urine production dramatically during sleep. The kidneys of a 25-year-old produce roughly 50% less urine at night than during the day. This is why young people can sleep through the night without issue. After the age of 60, arginine vasopressin production declines. By age 75, researchers at the University of Amsterdam found that the nighttime suppression of urine production decreases by up to 35%, meaning older kidneys are producing nearly as much urine at 2 a.m. as they are at 2 p.m. This condition is called nocturnal polyuria, excessive nighttime urine production, and it affects an estimated 77% of seniors with nocturia. This is not a bladder problem, it is a kidney circadian rhythm problem, and you can influence it directly through hydration timing. The protocol is this: establish a firm fluid cutoff of 2 hours before your intended sleep time. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., at your last meaningful drink of water, more than a few small sips should be by 8 p.m., at the absolute latest. But, and this is the part most people miss, to make that cutoff sustainable and safe, you must aggressively hydrate in the window between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. This is your golden hydration window. This is when your kidneys are at their functional peak, your bladder is awake and active, and your body can process and eliminate fluid efficiently before the evening suppression window begins. A clinical study published in the journal Neurourology and Urodynamics involving 223 adults over the age of 65 found that participants who followed a structured afternoon hydration loading protocol, consuming 40% of their daily fluid between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., combined with a strict 2-hour evening cutoff, reduced nocturia episodes by an average of 61% within 30 days. 61%, nearly 2/3 of their nighttime bathroom trips eliminated through timing alone. The synergy tip for number 1 is to pair your afternoon hydration window with a small serving of potassium-rich food, half a banana, a few slices of cucumber, or a small portion of plain yogurt. Potassium and water work together at the cellular level to optimize fluid distribution in the body's tissues, reducing the amount of excess fluid that ends up in the bloodstream and consequently in the kidneys during evening hours. It is a partnership that the body responds to beautifully, particularly in the aging system where cellular fluid balance becomes progressively less efficient after 65. Here is what I want you to understand before this video ends, and I mean this from 25 years of sitting across from patients who came to me exhausted, embarrassed, and convinced that waking up every night was simply what it meant to get older. It is not. Nocturia is not an inevitable tax on aging. It is a correctable physiological pattern, and the correction does not begin in an operating room or a pharmacy. It begins in how you drink your water, when you drink it, and what you drink it with. Margaret got her nights back at 71. Robert reclaimed his sleep at 74. I have watched men and women in their 80s reduce nighttime bathroom trips from 4 per night to 1 or 0 using exactly these principles. Your independence matters. Your sleep matters. The energy you have tomorrow morning to play with grandchildren, to walk, to cook, to live it, is directly connected to the quality of the sleep you get tonight. And that quality is in meaningful part in your hands, starting with your very next glass of water. It is never ever too late to give your body the right information. If this video helped you, and I genuinely hope it did, please subscribe to this channel right now. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification so you never miss a new video. We are here every week with evidence-based guidance designed specifically for people over 60 who deserve to be treated as the intelligent, capable individuals they are. And now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 6 strategies surprised you most. And are you going to try the afternoon hydration loading window first or the 2-hour evening cutoff? I read every comment personally, and your responses help shape what I make next. See you in the next video.